All right, hi everyone. We're back. This was a wonderful match we just watched, which was CSK played such an amazing cricket because they were like, we'll keep waiting. Don't worry, we can make 80 runs of the last over. Don't worry, we can do it. And in the end, they were like, we just need 50. We could have done 80, so we could have easily done. But then later on, they're like, okay, let's just make this IPL much more interesting by losing a couple of matches. We'll come back strong. No, you won't. We already said that. I chose earlier, 20 days earlier, that they're going to come 7th. Bikram was even harsher than I was. Bikram said they're going to get the wooden spoon. They're going to come dead last 8th. So they were like, okay, but what is wrong with India's current captain, India's previous captain, ex-captain? Because Virat Kohli had his worst game yesterday, and the whole furore about what Sunil Gavaskar said about, which somehow alluding to the fact that it's Anushka's fault. And I think you know more about that. What happened? I don't know what exactly happened there, because whatever I'm reading of Gavaskar saying, it seems pretty innocuous. But Anushka, who's in third semester or something of her baby, and she seems to be getting really touchy about that. She wrote a very long note on Twitter, I believe. And can you give us more on that?
Yeah, everything gets, everything becomes like a feminism issue. But yeah, I think there was a viral video during the lockdown when Virat Kohli was practicing inside his house, inside the compound of his the apartment which he lives, and Anushka Sharma was bowling. So I think Gavaskar was just making fun of, not even fun, like it was just it was just a tongue-in-cheek kind of humor, and I think it's just being blown out of proportion. And I don't know why people get so touchy about all these things.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because Sunil Gavaskar never says anything. The first time he's saying something, get over it, for heaven's sake, mate. So it's like, doesn't matter. Like, people have already started cracking jokes on Dean Jones, man. So in Australia, I mean, and total respect, Dean Jones passed away yesterday, and what a great player. When I started watching, he used to play bat, and I never watched Vivian Richards play, but when I watched some of Dean Jones, and people forgot it, but he used to play really quick cricket. I was like, this guy was like on the front foot, and his eventually, if you know, his averages was 44 in one day international, and I don't think anybody had averages 44 at that time, anybody who played more than 100 matches. So big respect to Dean Jones. Okay, so coming back to today's match, I think Chennai, Delhi did very well to start with. They didn't lose any wicket for the longest time, which was apparently the first time ever this ever happened to them. And then later on, people can say they could not actually, they probably fell short by 20 runs or something. But then I've been constantly saying that CSK has been so conservative that anything more than 165 is already too much, because I think their wheelhouse is between 145 to 165. Right. That's something they can control with their conservatism. Then you're really playing their game, because they're like, we're not going to lose wickets. Eventually we will get there. But the moment you go above 165, it becomes very weird for them, and particularly on a very long boundaries they had on this one, because unlike the other match, they had 33 sixes, right? This time we had like a couple of sixes or something here and there, and it was just very difficult. So now CSK is now duly at the bottom. I mean, the table is not reflecting that at the bottom, because they played 3 matches. Because people who are actually at the bottom actually hardly any play, like KKR and SH. By the way, why does everybody keep sucking up to Mahendra Singh Dhoni even when he's doing completely incorrect things and never showing up to bat, because he's taking like 16 naps in the afternoon or something? Why did he go over there in the first place? And then I know you said that it was the right decision to send Sam Curran, the little kid, that day, but the situation is completely different. He had to belt it. If he gets out, he gets out. Somebody else could have come in and gotten the runs, right? Because that was completely in their wheelhouse. But today was a completely different situation. Yes, the last time it was a completely different situation. So it was a different ball game. And I really agree that I'm really happy that whatever we analyzed earlier, I'm not just happy just because we were right. I'm just saying that whatever we analyzed, this is exactly why we thought they're going to lose, and they're losing for exactly the same reason. So I feel at least I know something about cricket, because some moron on some comment said like, oh, you guys should not talk about cricket. And then did not say anything after that. It's like, dude, you know so much about cricket. Why don't you write something about it? So fair enough. So Delhi is on the top, which we predicted. I'm not sure you predicted Delhi on the top. I predicted Delhi on the top. At least they are at the top right now. But you had them in that 1, 2, 3. So eventually, eventually third, I think, in Mumbai. Mumbai will come back anyway, so that's fair enough. And RCB is something. I think Virat Kohli had the worst performance of his career yesterday, which he dropped 2 dollies, and that's why we are coming back to that. That's why Gavaskar must have said something. And then he batted really poorly. Decisions were all over the place. And the player which I don't have any trust in, who has amazing capabilities as a batsman, that's KL Rahul. And when you do something like that, you just completely take away all the pressure. And because if he had gotten him out, because he was like stroking at 110, 115, 120 max, right? And if he had gotten him out that time and gotten these guys out for like 165, 70, you could have easily won the match. You have like amazing batting lineup, but then you just let them be.
Yeah, that was the turning point. Those two catches, not just one catch, two catches, and I think it was just between 5 runs, the difference. And after that, he just he threw caution out of the window.
Wind, right?
Yeah, that's the popular saying, right? So yeah, I think that was the biggest turning point in that match. And after that, because we were also thinking that they will make maximum 170 to 180 maximum. That's the max they could have, because they didn't have any batsmen after that. So yeah, I think that was the only turning point. That's why I still feel that, I mean, it was a very terrible performance by RCB yesterday, but that was just because of those drop catches, and then at the end they scored in like 40 runs in 2 overs or something, 45 runs, and then the momentum shifted, and then the pressure was back. And that's why we are always saying that batting first is actually an advantage in these type of tournaments, because there is immense pressure in each and every game, and just a slight mistake by anyone will put more pressure on the batting team, the team which is batting second, because chasing is anyway more difficult. And and we are seeing even low scores. I mean, 170 today was relatively not, I won't say low score, but it was chaseable score. But I mean, CSK anyway I don't think it's that capable as we.
Oh, on this pitch for CSK, 145 onwards is too difficult for the way CSK plays, right? They are not doing anything. They put Gaikwad. I don't want to say something bad about him just because he had 2 bad games. All I'm saying is that he doesn't seem to have any confidence, right? Yeah. And then forget about Gaikwad, because Gaikwad is just a new guy. Why do you have Murali Vijay? Because he's not going to do anything. Right, you can put anybody else instead of Murali Vijay. You're going to have strategies in place, but they don't want to have any strategies. You were like, this is exactly how we played for 10 fucking seasons, 12 fucking seasons, and this is exactly how we're going to play now. And we're going to qualify. Well, guess what? He won't qualify.
I don't think they have any backup for him. Backup as in like any other opener who can open. They can probably move Fab du Plessis, but then they'll have to bring in someone else. I know Rayudu is
bring anybody
injured.
Else.
I don't know how you get injured after playing one match, but he is. I think he's ill or something. I don't know. But even if he comes back, he's not going to perform in each and every match, right? And the Dubai wicket is having some kind of pace as well. If you compare it with the wicket in which was the first match? Was it in Sharjah? Yeah, no, Abu Dhabi. So that was slower. So I feel that they will really struggle with good bowling, good fast bowling, and this is exactly what is happening. And we have predicted this in the previous podcast. And I think it will get difficult for CSK unless they have some kind of backup for batting. Bowling is still decent, not so bad, but it's not. And the second thing is not happening in Chennai, because that's what they used to do. Chennai wickets used to be very slow, and they used to just choke the opponent, and then they had to only score, as you said, 140, 150, and that was their modus operandi. But now
it just totally works for them. And the other thing is, like, people, no matter what you say, people continuously take fielding, although 7 out of 7 times they've taken fielding, and 6 out of 7 times they've lost. I mean, when will you learn something? Because from COVID, somebody told me like people are going to be better. People are more cautious. People are more cowardly. Okay. And this is something now people need to just, grab their own balls and actually check if they're still there, and just actually do something more positive instead of constantly just taking bowling and calling like, oh, even Virat Kohli. I mean, somebody who actually shows a lot of intent. It's like he's saying, fuck off, man. Just take the fucking batting and go out there and show some intent. And because that's Virat Kohli's thing, right? If MS Dhoni does something like that, I'm fine, because MS Dhoni does something like that all the time. But that's not Virat Kohli, and that's exactly what was on show yesterday, right? The moment moment you do something, you go on back foot. So you need to be on the front foot. You need to tell people, I win the toss, I'm going to go out and bat and put a score on the board and let you chase. I want to see how you're going to chase. And plus the last 5 matches you've seen already, people have lost. So I don't know what you're talking about. And another thing that I want to mention, that all the commentators, everybody who's there, please stop sucking on Dhoni's balls every single time, because he's been making so many mistakes, and now you got to come out and do some better commentary than you've been doing, because you've been just saying, oh, Dhoni's so great. Maybe, I mean, right now I have Cricket Info open and this says Chopra, I'm pretty sure it's Akash Chopra's article, it says why Dhoni coming in at number 7 was not a bad move. You know what is a bad move, Chopra? For you to get paid for this stuff, and Akash Chopra, I have a lot of respect for that, but stop sucking on somebody's balls, because he's already retired mentally and checked out.
Yeah, and this is I also noticed this, and since you're talking about these things are coming to my mind, and whatever he's doing inside the match, they are justifying. The commentators are justifying as if they are getting paid by Dhoni, and they are justifying that, oh, this decision was brilliant because this decision led to the wicket, or see the runs stopped coming. I mean, everything is
Jesus Christ,
is credited to Dhoni for some reason. It's kind of
it has even gone beyond what used to happen with Tendulkar. When Tendulkar was like, everybody was like, this guy is so amazing, this guy is so... I just wanted to just give me a fucking break. I mean, Virat Kohli, who's the greatest batsman right now, I don't see this level of stuff. In fact, shit starts happening if he doesn't play well.
So, he gets a lot of
and
shit.
people call him bad captain and other things. It's like, bad captain, he's won the maximum matches overseas. What are you talking about, bad captain?
Yesterday I saw someone tweet that this showcases that Kohli is not a good captain because here they are playing with I don't know, he said that the players are not so good compared to what they are in Indian team. I said, what? I mean, I didn't reply to that, but how can you compare? There is A.V. de Villiers, there is same bowler from Indian team, Umesh Yadav, Navdeep Saini, Chahal is there, who is again greatest spinner right now in India.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Finch is opening. I mean, what more you want? It's not...
They just haven't performed to the level. That you can say you're not performing to the level, that's fair enough.
Yeah, it always comes to the captaincy. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of just because he has not won any ICC tournament, that's why the captaincy is always questioned. But yeah, I think
that's always it's always difficult, right? England had not won an ICC tournament till first 100 years or something. So
South Africa has not won anything.
South Africa has not won anything. So those things happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, without elongating it, so let's just only talk about tomorrow's match. Again, I don't have any particular favorites for this thing, but I'm going to go with SRH because I just feel that SRH right now probably will be more desperate and just probably pull over the line. But again, a lot of I'm just picking SRH. I can't really justify that why SRH will specifically win and they will not win, because anything is possible. And if it was some other match, I would have probably given you more reasons. But I feel that both teams have lost the match, and I feel tomorrow it's going to be SRH, and let's just see if that happens or not. So I don't know which one you're going for.
Yeah, I'm also going for SRH, and that's according to our overall prediction as well. And I just feel that KKR again, like CSK, they don't have a very good batting lineup, like a settled, where everyone knows what is their role. That is the main problem with KKR, because they in the first match also they shuffled a lot the batting lineup. So yeah, I'll go with SRH, plus their bowling is so good, SRH. So yeah, that's my prediction as well.
All right, fair enough. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Keep watching. We'll keep doing more and more IPL podcasts. And tomorrow we're doing the rehash for the entire week. So tomorrow would be the 8th match, I believe.
Yeah.
And we would see for the first time if somebody actually takes batting for a change and actually ends up winning directly from there. Because now this is 6 times straight that people have taken bowling and they've bowling and they've actually lost. So I think there's some lessons to be learned, and forget about the due and take the cue. Please go out and bat. And commentators, please stop sucking on Dhoni. Even when he's not playing, you're still talking nice about Dhoni. But I think it's about time. But I think everybody's so fickle. Next match, CSK loses, they'll be like, okay, I think now we can say something bad about him. But again, I think they're still getting paid by him, so they'll be very, very cautious because everybody loves Dhoni. But for me, Dhoni is pretty much done, because once you retire, a switch just flicks in your mind. Something happens. And I think even today, I mean, I don't know, I have no justification. Right now, it'll look like I'm just Dhoni bashing because it's happened, but this is something which I predicted beforehand that this is going to happen, and he hasn't changed. You can blame about their bowling and depth and everything, which is obviously a problem. That's one of the reasons which we said Chennai will not do well, because a couple of their players decide to be cowards and just leave, which is Harbhajan Singh for personal reason and Suresh Raina. That doesn't help, but my point still remains that it's the mindset. The way they're playing, they just feel exactly what they've done before will continuously work. It just does not work anymore. And I think they were lucky in the first match they won. Otherwise, there could have been a 3-zip right now and would have been already out of IPL. But they still have a chance. But guess what? Another couple of matches they lose and pretty much they're staring down the barrel already.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my equipment. And let's see if we can have a good match, because we had 2 really terrible matches after very amazing first few matches. So hopefully tomorrow David Warner and our what's his name? What's the captain?
Dinesh Karthik.
DK. Yeah, sorry, I was just looking for DK. So DK and Andre Russell, who you call Russells. I remember other day you call him Russells. So Russells. So Andre Russell also goes for like a starts hitting those massive sixes, because there's one person. The ground side doesn't matter, because he hits it, it stays hit, and it's going to take a lot of time for the balls to come back as well, because there's with the COVID rules and everything. All right, so enjoy whatever you're doing, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Have a good evening. Bye bye.